So here's another introductory short video to Brooklyn guitar techs. This is what makes people like me different. And there are people like me, as opposed to taking your guitar to a store to have it maintained, to have it repaired, to have it adjusted, just to make it, put it where it should be. There's the store version where you'll get it back in like an hour, 2 hours. And they'll essentially use, electric screwdrivers and electric drills and everything electric, and do it as quick as they can because they got like 7 jobs to do that day. Versus someone like me who's going to do everything manually, old school. And that's the way I was taught. That's how you do things, and they always turn out better. I use really old-fashioned tools. I was working on something before on a Strat that I'm working on right now, and if I have to drill a hole for anything, I'm not going to use a Dremel or drill, an electric drill. I'm going to use this. These are fine instruments. They deserve the respect that they've earned. And to take it to a store where the person's just going to sit there with an electric screwdriver and unscrew the neck with an electric screwdriver, or put it back, which is even more dangerous because you may put it too tight, and then that really is going to screw up the threads inside the neck. Proper luthering requires time. The reason I mention this is because somebody recently reached out to me and said, I have a Les Paul, I want to have it maintained, how much you charge, and how long is it going to take. The problem wasn't the money, because I'm very reasonable. The problem was the time. And this person wanted it back in 2 hours. And I said, I can't do it in 2 hours. I cannot do this in 2 hours. I can do it in 2 hours, but you're going to get it back crappy. You're not going to get it back much better than it was when you first gave it to me. And I said, give me 3 or 4 days. Let me check out the guitar. Let me make sure everything is fine. Let me look at the pots. Let me look at the neck. Let me look at the frets. Let me polish your frets. Let me do the fine tuning. The intonation properly. Let me make sure the neck is done, is the way it should be. This is not something you can do in 1 hour or 2 hours, and it's certainly not going to be done properly when you take it to a store where they have 7 of these jobs to do in one day. And of course, you'll end up paying a lot less, but you're going to end up getting something back that's junk. I mean, essentially, what you gave them is what you're going to get back. If you give me the 3 or 4 days that I need, I will give you back an instrument that you'll be amazed at how it plays. I mean, you will think it's a new instrument. And in that way, you won't have to go out and buy yourself a new guitar. And like in the case of this guy where I'm working a Strat, where I told him, you know what? I think you should change this, but it's up to you. You're gonna need a refret very soon, but it's up to you. He decided to change some things, like that crappy Chinese middle pickup. He ended up buying himself, with recommendations from me, a new pickup, and it's taking a while because he wants his guitar to like spec. And if he would have taken it into, let's say, if he would have taken it into a store and he said, you know what, give me the maintenance on this. Well, they would have given it back to him in an hour. And they wouldn't have done all the stuff that I've done, which is, well, you'll see them in other videos forthcoming. The point here is that Luthering is an art. It requires time. It requires patience. You can't rush it. You shouldn't be using electric tools. They can potentially damage an instrument, especially when you're working on wood. You know, nobody should be using any kind of electric drill or screwdriver on wood, period. But if you take it to a store, that's how they're going to do it, because they got to do 7 in one day. It's you give it to someone like me, not necessarily me, but someone like me. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure everything is absolutely perfect on the instrument.